Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what ought to be a great matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. With that, we send you up to US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Standing by our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They're off to a terrific start, unbeaten at 5-0 through the first month and change.
And you can hang a lot of this early success on their defense, too. They're the tone setters for these guys, and the entire team feeds off of what they do.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Packers, we're in October now, so everybody should be coming into form, shouldn't they?
They really should, and what you have now is a full routine established about what you want to get done and full focus on the season.
Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. This is fielded at the goal line. And he will be marked out right there at the 20-yard line. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. Leading them out is their 6'2 quarterback who was a fourth-round pick back in 2012, Kirk Cousins.
And I'll bet right now there's just one thought in his mind.
Win the game.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He played pretty well. I mean, he didn't turn over the ball in terms of interceptions,
no,
right?
2 touchdown passes last week.
2 touchdown passes, but when your team doesn't win, that's just hollow. And the best quarterbacks don't care about anything but whether or not their team won.
Right here, right here.
They'll run it here. This is Marlon Mack. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2. And it brings up second down. And now the offensive starters for the Packers.
And they come off a tough loss last week. And what's their reward? A second straight road game. Rarely are teams happy about scheduling. They're always calling the league office saying, how come we have this game and that game? But when you're coming off of a loss on the road and you go right into another one, that's a difficult task.
From the 22, Cousins. He gets this to Davante Adams. It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Davante Adams, the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down. On second down, here's a run with Mack. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
On third down, Cousins. He completes this one to Mack. And he'll only get this to about the 35, well short of the line to gain. Give him 2 yards on that play, and that's going to bring up a fourth down. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
On 4th down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. Now here's Ross. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. Vanderbilt's own Oren Burks had the tackle defensively. Let's take a look here at the offense for Minnesota.
And they should come in pretty well rested because they had their open week last week. Ideally, all teams want to have that open week later in the year rather than this early. But you make do with what they give you. So you take the time off, rest up, heal up, and come in ready to play.
On 2nd down, it's Cook. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, there'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
42's mark, 42's mark. Gun. Keep it up. Mike 42. Mike 42, check, Mike 42. It's our field.
To throw is Newton. He's able to find Wallace. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that. Yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on there heals a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying, do I have that dagger play? Do I have that play and just finish them off right now? Because I think they'd love to gain that big advantage early.
Gun. Mike 4-2.
Newton on 1st down. Flushed out right. He's going to take off with it. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Newton, and nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, 3rd down. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. Now, they come in a top 10 unit against the pass, currently 8th in the NFL.
And the easy thought process is that stopping the run is the least of their problems because they're facing the #1 passing team in the NFL. But if they don't stop the run as well, then that just opens up the passing game even more. They've got to do both.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Now a handoff here to his running back. And a nice little start as he's able to get this up to the 28. Bit of a surprise. They ran it on 3rd and medium. Proved to be the right call. 1st and 10. If you make the stop there, maybe you hold them to 3 on this opening drive. They didn't get the stop.
Yeah, new set of downs now. Now you're worried about, just as you pointed out, not just giving up 3, possibly giving up 6. Let's see what they decide to do here because they've got to change up what they have been doing. It hasn't been working.
It's just me and you. It's just me and you.
Back to the ground. This time, Cook. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2.
Next, the receivers help spread the defense out, and they were able to come through with a slashing run.
But to that point, it's going to be interesting to see the personnel chess match as this one progresses.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Can they continue to create running lanes out of passing sets? And if so, it's going to be a long day for the defense.
Strip that ball.
On 2nd down now, it's Cook. And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2.
36, 36. Check 99. Check 99. Shoot. Hey, come on.
On the ground, this is Derrick Henry. Oh, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. He needed 2, he got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down and a yard.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
And no field goal try here from the red zone. Offense out there. They'll go for it on 4th. Running for it. Here's Cook. And I'm not sure he got there. Did they stop him? They did. Dalvin Cook turned away on 4th down. And the Packers D comes up with a big stop. And defensively, they were ready for that, a full-on blitz on 4th down, and they stop him short of the marker.
Oh, and someone's got to feel really good about that, and that's the defensive coordinator. He dialed up a great run blitz defense, and they hit it just right. Stack that thing up. They're going to feel awesome going to the bench after that big play.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
I'm not sure that you'd call it a trick play, but it definitely showed some imagination there. I wouldn't be surprised if they want to come back and show this play a few more times before this one is over.
Throwing on 2nd down. Cousins going up top. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. Here's J.K. Scott now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Ross on the return. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And out will come the offense as they take over. And now out comes Minnesota. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go-around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it changes a little bit if they're in the same spot again.
Yeah, we'll see what the decision is here if they get to that spot. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
Great. Mike 42, Mike 42. Too little, Delta. 42's Mike.
Now a first down throw for Newton. And he fires one incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Throwing again. Newton. Got his man there. It's Wallace complete. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. A gain of 28 yards there and give him the first down. We often, with Cam Newton, talk a lot about his legs. Don't forget about that arm.
He can throw it on a rope. He can loft it. He's got the touch that's been developed throughout his career. But the big part about just watching him throw it, it seems almost effortless.
Gun. Coming to you. 8. We got double. 8. Hey, alert 3. Check. Hey, check 24.
A first down carry for Henry. And strong running there as he's inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Great. Set the tone, defense. Let's go. My 50. Here it comes.
2nd and 5 now. Newton. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion. But he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Setting up the screen for Cook. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. Good contain, no gain on the screen, and it'll bring up 4th down.
I know you've got a baseball background, right?
A little bit. Started in minor league ball.
Yeah, you did some of that, right? What do they do when they do the signals? An indicator, right?
Tells you whether it goes or not, yeah.
Yeah, whether the play's on or not. How about the indicators offensive linemen give when they're getting ready to run a screen pass? And if those get red, well, we just saw that there, didn't we?
No gain.
No gain. Deciphered it.
And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Dalvin Cook, his 14th touchdown now on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. This crew, they were on a roll going into the bye week that they just had, Charles, so sort of picking up where they left off.
And you and I both know that when you come back off of an open week and you've been winning games, you should get a few extra days off in order to recharge and refuel. But coaches often hedge their bets, too. They'll bring them back and work them really hard that first practice back to make sure that they're back and grounded. Whatever they did, formula looking good so far in this one. The extra point splits the uprights, and it's now a 7-0 game. Here's Martin now following the score as he'll send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20.
Let's go.
The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for. Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum? On first down, they'll start out with Mack. And he'll go down at the 26, following a gain of 6. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4. Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them. They'll try and run for this with Mack. And he will have the first down, but he winds up paying for it pretty good. They're just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. That right there, a good sign for a team that's had trouble converting third down so far this year. They're in the bottom 5 in the NFL, but they come through there.
Yeah, and I bet if we put our guy Marvin on the case and say, Marvin, tell us where they rank on third and what, right? I bet they're in the top 5 in the league on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 or more, because that's how you end up not converting. Just too much yardage to pick up on third down.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Anthony Barr comes rumbling in for the sack.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye, that happened fast, and a big sack. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. A quick throw out to Adams on the perimeter. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. It'll be a loss of 1, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Now, that was well defended, and as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
Really in a hole here, 3rd and 17 following the 2 negative plays. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And that's complete to Adams. And they'll get him down at about the 37, well short of the first. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
And another thing that makes the comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
Here's J.K. Scott now as he's on to punt for Green Bay. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. Oh, he takes it in, doesn't let it bounce. He takes it at the 2. The Vikings are in for the touchdown. What a risk he took, but it paid off. I mean, he took that punt from inside the 5 near the goal line, ran it all the way back.
And normal coaching says you let that one go. Anytime you're inside the 10-yard line, you let it hit and hopefully bounce into the end zone. But as you mentioned, he took a risk, and boy, did it pay off in a big way. I wonder if they let up a little bit going downfield, thinking that there was no way he was going to return that one.
Extra point attempt to follow here. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. Well, we know he has home run hitting ability in the punt return department, and he showcases it there all the way back for 6. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points get that 0 off the board. And the first play of the drive there is incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Play action now. Cousins. Blitz coming, and and down he goes. Anthony Barr able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. From the gun, here's Cousins. It's caught here by Adams. And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Here's J.K. Scott now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. This is taken at the 18. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. You start prorating these rushing numbers and looking ahead. He could be on pace for a 2,000-yard season. I don't want to jinx him, but what a year to this point.
But you just did.
Sorry.
That's okay. No, he can overcome that.
I'm not apologizing to you.
No.
Okay?
I like your attitude. But you're right. What's got to happen for it to actually occur? Offensive line has continued blocking the way they've been blocking. He has to stay healthy. But also, it's not just the idea that he's going to run the football, but you got to run it against numbers that dictate you throwing the football. Sometimes when you have 6 to block and you only have 5 guys, you've got to block them anyway, and he has to make someone miss as well the rest of the year. In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on 1st down.
They still boom. Y'all playing the wrong football. Mike's 4-2. Mike's 4-2. You ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing.
Out of the gun, Newton. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the 1st down.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down. Executed it to perfection. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Throwing is Newton. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. A 9-yard pickup, just 1 yard away from 3 consecutive 1st down plays.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Derrick Henry. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1. The Vikings on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Here's Newton. Eluding the pressure right. He may try and run for this. Newton able to use those legs and get past the marker to pick up the 1st. So an instance there of Cam being Cam. We know he can use his legs.
And with that big body, it's hard to get him down, even if you get a clear shot on him. Plus, he moves it a lot faster than what people think. And boy, does he have fun playing the game of football.
Let's get off the field, G.
First down, here's the run with Cook. Cook with a first down and much more. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
Point after here coming up. And it is now 21-0. A drive that time of 6 plays. And it's capped off by the touchdown run coming from Dalvin Cook. So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
And he'll get only a couple up to the 22. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. This is Mack on the counter. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Here we go. Here we go.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled them up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Check safety.
They'll run on first down with Marlon Mack. He takes this from the 30 to the 34.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
This thrown quickly out to Jones. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that's going to make it 3rd down and 10.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Now Cousins. And this is going to be incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Here's J.K. Scott now. He's been terrific so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. This is taken at the 15. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And out now come the Vikings. And they've got to be thankful for the third phase in this one. They've had some nice punt returns on special teams.
And it feels like they're keeping it pretty simple, too. It's not a real complex scheme that they're using to return kicks. It's almost like they look to the sideline when they go out there and the coach just says, return wide side. Bring it over there, and off they go. Sometimes they'll go short side. But no matter what, it's working very well for them.
Mike 50. I'm here all day. I'm here all day. 8. Check Mike 50. Mike is a 50. Check Mike 50.
On first down, it's Newton. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Newton now hitting on 80% of his passes in the early going. 8 of 10. It's first down. Now Cook. He's got it off the draw. And he'll be tackled right on the midfield logo. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
Check 38. Check 26. Check 26.
On first down, Cook. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
50's the Mike. 50.
They'll try the air now with Newton. Flush to his right, and now he's going to use his legs. He'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's 3rd down.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. From the gun, here's Newton. And Diggs has it. And he'll get this to the 40, but that's still going to be a few yards short of the first down. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up, keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. The offense staying out. They're going to go on 4th and 2.
Check. Crunch.
They'll run for it. Cook. And an alley run. And he's taken down inside the 30. 12 yards there. First down, Vikings. Remember, that was 4th and a full 2 yards. There's a big difference between that and 4th and maybe 6 inches or a yard.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because when it's that 6 inches, you just fall forward and you pick it up, right? You just go quarterback sneak. But having to move bodies, that means you actually have to execute because they know what you're going to do. How are you going to make the right play call and get everyone into the right spot and win at the line of scrimmage? That's what they did there.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down.
Check. 8. Check 52.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Henry. And he'll get about 4 as he's brought down at the 24.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Mike 42. Defense wins.
Newton to throw. Rolling to his right. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's third.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
Mike 42. Mike 42. Greg. Mike 42. Pick it up, guys. Pick it up. That's it. 42. Mike 42. Three buzz.
Throwing on third down. Newton being chased out left. He can run for it, and he will. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. A good decision in the end to pull it and run, get some 9 yards and a first.
We have so many different terms for third down, third and short, third and long, third and manageable. How about third and medium? Because that's what this one was. The defense looked like they had him hemmed in, but he gets away, evades the rush, and picks up just enough for the first down.
To the 3. You're not ready. You're not ready. Watch the safety creep. Switch. 8. Check right ball.
They'll run on first down. It's Henry. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
On second down, here's Henry. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up a first and goal.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up first downs.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Second down and goal. Newton. Maybe a little over-anxious in the pocket there. He just didn't look comfortable on that throw.
No, he didn't because it wasn't his normal fluid delivery. And I think you might have had it right. Wasn't really confident with what he saw downfield and almost felt like he wanted to pull that one back.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on third and goal?
Mike 50. Watch a slant. Watch a slant.
A shotgun snap for Newton. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. The first defensive back taken in this year's draft, Darnell Savage there to knock that one away.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
On fourth down, Mike Vrabel says, let's get 3 out of this. He sends on the field goal unit. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And his kick is right there. It's good. And that stretches this lead even further. It's now 24-0. So you're a boxing guy. How do you score that on your boxing card? A very long drive, but 3 points.
And I really want to do my boxing analyst voice right here, but I'm going to keep it normal for us, right? I call it a draw. That type of a drive has to feel good, right? You take it all the way downfield, you control the ball, control the clock. But they only got 3 points out of it. So defensively, it could have been worse, right? So I give it a draw.
The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
Well, no, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called a desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy. Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
From the 24, Cousins, and he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Man, I got you. Tight dog.
They'll run it out of the gun with Mack. And the hole closes quickly. He gets it across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
From the 36, Cousins, nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, that was their 3rd sack of the ball game. 2nd in the league in sacks coming into this one. They're planning on making it a race to the top, aren't they?
Absolutely. They're looking up at that top spot, but they might be looking down at the 2nd spot pretty soon. Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. Working out of the gun, Cousins. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And down inside the red zone at the 19-yard line.
Well, that's a down and distance coaches always talk about trying to avoid, isn't it? I mean, that's 3rd and long, and you just know they're pinning their ears back and coming after him, sometimes even with extra pressure.
And he knew that. I mean, he knew they were coming. He just fumbled it.
Yeah, he knew it. The offensive line knew it. Everyone did, yet the pressure was still there, and he ended up coughing it up.
And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. The passing game, they've had more success there than the running game. Maybe something they game plan for.
How come they didn't tell us about it?
Because they wanted to keep it a secret.
We did ask, didn't we? But I think what happened in this one is they've realized that they've established the run pretty well, and teams are going to key on that. They thought they could open it up and have success.
And it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. From 19 yards away as his guys continue to pour it on.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strike ability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Now the extra point try forthcoming. And they're able to up the lead by one more. A nice tidy little drive there, getting the ball in excellent field position, and only one play to score it. Here's Martin now following the score as he'll send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes Kirk Cousins now to lead his offense back out there. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people. Lean on your teammates. Find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
If he doesn't, this is getting Out of hand, or it could get worse. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Throwing, Cousins. That's caught by his tight end, Uzomah. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. Give him 15 there, and the Packers have a first.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
Alec Ogletree in on the stop.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
From the 44, Cousins. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. To throw, Cousins. And Adams has it, complete. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 42.
I don't care how many times we say it, I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
On first down, it's Mack. And he is going to lose yardage here. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
Anthony Barr got a real education at UCLA in playing not just his normal position of stand-up outside linebacker, but down defensive end. So he had to incorporate a variety of moves, take on bigger people. So he learned great leverage while he was there. That really helps him when he's trying to stop people running the ball. Born in South Bend, Indiana. Thought about going back to go to Notre Dame, but you're right. Great career at UCLA and now a great career in the NFL. On 2nd down, it's Mack. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy. He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion. So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. This will be spotted just shy of midfield, a 59-yard attempt. And this is off target to the left, didn't get there anyway. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is. Well, I was watching him in warm-ups, and he hit a 62-yarder that hit the crossbar and went over. This one a little bit inside of that, but not enough leg. And the difference is what? Well, your live conditions, right? Live conditions, game conditions are a whole lot different than practice, where you just pop it up there, no rush, no pressure. I think maybe that takes a couple yards away from you when you have to do it when it's real. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again. And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments. He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down. I remember watching Derrick Henry come out of Alabama and sitting with some scouts, and one of the debate points with him was, While at Bama, how often did he have to deal with contact near the line of scrimmage? They were so good up front that he often got to the second level pretty easily. I think he's starting to answer those questions with runs like that. He's a physical guy.
Escaping the pressure right. He's going to take off with it. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be second down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Preston Smith able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. So third down now. They need the 27-yard line for a first. To throw is Newton. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a first down.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Let's go!
The Packers offense now heading back out onto the field. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
Got an open man. That's C.J. Uzomah. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. Cousins now 10 of 17 throwing the ball. He's got a 1st and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. To throw is Cousins. Open man is Uzomah. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. Cousins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. Here's J.K. Scott now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. This will be taken at the 10. So a change of possession here on the punt. And control of the football, switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Cam Newton getting ready to go again on offense. I'm sure he wanted to have a huge game, wants to have a huge game as the quarterback, but really on the ground, they've been very, very hard to stop. Maybe you just keep going to that well.
I think so. And isn't it funny how the definition of balance changes for us from game to game? Sometimes it's 50-50, run it, throw it. Sometimes it's just being a balanced running team in terms of who's carrying the football.
More than one guy.
Right, multiple guys out there, and now your guy back there has to throw it. Don't have to worry about it quite as much.
And they've got the lead here in the second quarter. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half.
Mike 42. Mike 42. Check. Mike 42. Let's go. Ball trot. Mike 42. Mike 42. Here we go. Mike's 4-2. Mike's 4-2. Rip right.
Looking to throw again on second down. Newton going long here for Wallace. And that one was nearly picked. Not sure he was accounting for the free safety. That brings up third down. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3.
Let's go, Mike 50. Mike 50. Short. You remember me? Let's go.
A final shot before the break. Newton. Able to avoid him. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. A lot to get to here as some of the division races starting to take shape as we look around the NFL here in week number 7. We'll get our tour started out at venerable Soldier Field in Chicago. And as they approach halftime, it's the Bears who are out in front. Tariq Cohen accounting for the lone scoring thus far as he's cashed in with a touchdown run. From there, we'll head to Cincinnati to check on the Bengals at home at Paul Brown Stadium. And they trail the visiting Chiefs in that one. Tyreek Hill, 2 touchdown catches on the afternoon. Finally, let's get over to Carson, see what's happening with the Chargers at home at Dignity Park. And that one all tied against the visiting Steelers. Meanwhile, our game has been a boat race, very one-sided to this point. And for the call of the second half, let's get it back to our commentating team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. And he's found the end zone twice. And now I'm guessing he's thinking, hey, let's find it 3 times.
And you got to figure from the defensive perspective, how has he gotten there twice? What are we going to do to keep him out for a 3rd time? How do we tighten things down? Because he and his offensive mates, they are really in sync right now.
20. You go tight. You got tight. 8.
Starting the 3rd quarter with Cook. And not much. Maybe a yard up to the 29.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
SOS. Gun. SOS. Deuce. Go. Mike 42. Here we go, D.
On 2nd and 9. Newton, rush coming, and he's taken down. Zadarius Smith gets him for a loss of 5. He is so tough to handle on the blitz, and that's Exhibit A.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Mike 42. So don't say nothing. Echo. Mike 42. I got you.
3rd and long. It's Newton. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And they pick up 25 as they convert on 3rd.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
They go play action here on first down. Sliding out of the pocket. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
So the ref takes a peek here, wants to see if the receiver had possession and both feet inbounds.
If this were a college game, this would be a legal catch. It's the second foot that they're looking at to make sure it gets down. You have to have 2 inbounds in the NFL.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player. You threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
Drop deep. Mike's 4-2. Great. Check tight. Check 42's the Mike.
To throw again on second down. Newton. He's able to find Wallace. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 9 yards the pickup there, and it's a first down. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. They run it again with Cook. And he pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. Well, if you look where that play starts, O-line versus D-line, that was a battle won by the D-line.
Yeah, and oftentimes it's won by quickness off the ball. Who can handle the guy across from them best? On that play, the defensive line did exactly that.
Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook, and he is not going anywhere. They stop him for no gain. They'll get neither the touchdown nor the first down, and it'll be a turnover on downs. Well, they were 2 for 3 on 4th down tries. Now they're unsuccessful. That brings them down to 50%.
But that's a percentage you have to feel pretty good about. You know, 2 for 4, 2 for 3 before that. They finally get stopped again. That's okay. That's the type of team that'll keep pressing. In this situation, they'll continue to go for it.
A good start to the drive here as that's caught out on the left side. It's a gain of 16 and a first down for the green and gold.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. They're never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. He's got Adams on the hookup. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Give him 15 there, and the Packers have a first. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
From the 39, Cousins, complete to Bryant. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. It's a gain of 16 and a first down for the green and gold.
It's a nice completion and a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? Now Cousins. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. Big Shaq Lawson gets the sack there. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in 1 game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game, because no one can stand up to this week after week.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Now Cousins. It's caught by Bryant. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes and they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, it really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
Here's J.K. Scott now as he's on to punt for Green Bay. And a fair catch called for and made at the 12-yard line. Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And last time, they had it 4th and goal, rolled the dice, didn't get it. Now they've got to put that behind them, try to put together another drive.
A simple tip of the cap, a nod of the head to the defense. Congratulations, you got us last time. But you didn't hold us the whole time. We got down to position. We were able to be in position to score. Let's go ahead and attack again. Continue to have that kind of confidence. Not worry about the one play that didn't allow them to get into the end zone.
And this time they'll be trying to get it into the end zone. We'll see what they do. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10.
Check. 8.
They'll run with Henry. They'll get only a couple down to the 44. They had the huge play last time. Here it is a much smaller gain of 2. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Newton. Flushed out right. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Give the sack to Blake Martinez.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
In need of a conversion on third down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense.
Pull it together. Mike's 50. Mike's 50. Hey, let's get this. Let's get that ball. Hey, Mike 50. Mike 50. Mike 50. Hey, come on, no. Come on, no.
Out of the gun, Newton. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And he's going to be taken down at the 39, clearly short of the first by a few yards. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job here of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. And he's taken down inside the 30. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down. Where they were on the field, kind of no man's land. Do you like the call?
I love the call. Almost had to go for it there, right, because of what you just described. Too far for the field goal, too short for the punt. You might punt in the end zone and just give them good field position anyway. Let's go for it. Plus, they were moving the ball. They had confidence that they could pick up this last bit of real estate.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. Got his man there. It's Wallace complete. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. 23 yards on the play. And he's over 100 yards now after that last catch. Already, of course, leading the NFL in receiving yardage.
So he's done nothing at all to hurt his cause, to stay in that spot. But I've been so impressed with how he's gotten it done. Body control, route running. How about the way he competes for the football at the end of the play?
Ready. Check. Gun. Hey, I'm coming after you. Stop Mike 42. I'm trying to collect. Mike's 4-2.
Now Newton. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Preston Smith in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
On the ground, it's Cook. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down. Well, they've gotten it down to the 3, but now this is 3rd and goal.
Mike 50. Check Mike.
Back to throw, Newton. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Irv Smith Jr., his first touchdown on the year, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. No surprise there, 3rd and goal down here. That's where they're going to look for their tight end.
Yeah, you want that big guy running his routes, because it doesn't matter who they cover him with. If it's another big guy, he might use his bulk against him. If it's a shorter defender, might go over the top. Either way, you tend to find a little bit of a mismatch in that area.
Point after try forthcoming. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it's polished off by a Viking score. So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
11 yards and a Green Bay Packer first down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down. From the 40 now on second down. Cousins, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Eric Armstead, the defensive end, will get credited for the sack. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. Working out of the gun, Cousins. Complete to Jones. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Give him 18 on that play, and Green Bay has the first as well.
They hit that crossing route really well. Excellent timing, puts it right on him, and he keeps running.
Yeah, turned it upfield for good yardage. Cousins now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. First and 10. Cousins. That's caught by his tight end, Uzomah. A gain of 6 there on first.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's second and 4. Here's Cousins. It's caught here by Adams. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. That one a first down pickup of 8. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. First and 10. They'll run here with Mack, and he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the pass, but in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying.
But you're right, it might go to. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. And this is a blowout so far. As Cousins going to come up on a first and 10. And he's hit on all 5 of his pass attempts on this drive so far. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And his throw is incomplete. Dez Bryant, the intended receiver. And it's second down. No wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
The throw once more on second and 10. Cousins. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same...
And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And the Vikings pick up the football. He's got a convoy, and he might be gone. He's at the 30, 10, and he's got a score. It's a Viking touchdown. And he has great speed, defensive back speed. Once he got it and took off, there was no catching it.
And I know every team tells you to hustle no matter what the play, but there was no chance of catching him. Maybe if it had been a defensive tackle running with the ball, but not in this case.
Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points. You feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Cousins on first down. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down. Another pass attempt, another incompletion, and they're just a little over 100 yards passing here in this game, so defensively, pretty good job.
Definitely, because they were never really able to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, so a lot of credit to the defensive game plan, and especially the execution.
There's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end, and he'll be corralled right around the 34. 13 yards, first down, Packers.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
On first and 10, Cousins. And that's complete to Adams. 13 yards, first down, Packers.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
What we got? What we got? What we got?
Cousins now to throw on first down. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 11 yards and a Green Bay Packer first down. From Viking territory now, they'll come up first and 10 at the 43. They run the draw play with Mack. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down. Hate to say it, but that play typifies what we've seen from this offense all game long.
Yeah, don't you think maybe you flip over your play sheet as the offensive coordinator and see the side that says try something different? You know, because this has not worked all game long. They continue to try and get it done. They've got to come up with something a little bit different. Try something special, something they haven't seen.
Anything to score a point.
Watch tight end.
On second and 12, Cousins. Open man is Uzama. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he can only manage to take this thing to the 38, well shy of the first down. Only 2 on the screen pass there, and it'll be fourth down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
So out comes the field goal team now for the second time here today. This officially a 55-yard attempt. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Well, listen, now no kick from 50-plus is a gimme, but here you're indoors in a dome. You'd think ideal conditions.
Yeah, and it's one that he would expect himself to make, not just us expecting him to make it. Over the years, my theory is very simple. The athletic ability of kickers continues to get better and better. Check their backgrounds. They were all county, all state, and other positions, not just soccer players. These guys expect themselves to be great as well.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
He's coming. Double up, double up. He's coming. Hey! Jumper, jumper. 20. Kill, kill, kill. Under 10.
10th carry now for Derrick Henry. And not much to speak of there. Maybe a yard down to the 20. Defensively, a solid response after giving up back-to-back first downs.
Mike 42, Mike 42. Hey, we got to get to the ball, team. We got to get to the ball.
On 2nd and 9, Newton setting up the screen for Cook. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Set. 180. 50. Hey, check.
Now a first down throw for Newton. Eluding the pressure. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. Past the 10 to the 11-yard line. And that's where the return stops. Their passing game has been spectacular this afternoon. Finally, a win for the defense.
You think maybe there was an adjustment there. Finally gained a measure of, I don't even know if you call it revenge, but got a play done against him, and that's been difficult for them all game long.
The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
Throwing again on 2nd down. Cousins. Jones has it. And he's able to get up here to the 26. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Well, they obviously red man covers their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him
What do you mean by that, bro?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield, then he curls back inside for the completion.
And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They'll throw again. Cousins into the hands of his running back, Marlon Mack.
That was well defended, and while it was a completion, it resulted in a loss of yardage. It's really, really hard for a running back to think to himself, I probably should have just dropped it and saved the yardage. It goes against the entire training that he's had his whole career.
Cousins on 3rd and 2. Got an open man. That's C.J. Uzomah. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. Give him 15 there, and the Packers have a first.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
Cousins going to come up on a 1st and 10, and he's hit on all 5 of his pass attempts on this drive so far. To the air again, it's Cousins. Bryant has it. No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Cousins. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Here's J.K. Scott now as he's on to punt for Green Bay. And look at this. It's a fake. And the gamble pays off. They get the first. A big breakdown defensively there on the fake punt. Turns into a huge play and a 1st down. So they snap it straight to the up man. What's his responsibility? Normally, obviously, just to protect, but he's got to be a guy that can be pretty agile too, right?
Yeah, without a doubt, because you're talking about a guy, even in protection, he may have to slide up and down the line of scrimmage to pick up someone who comes through trying to block a punt. So you know he's got that ability to move, but oftentimes just usually a running back, a fullback, someone who's used to having the ball in their hands, and he's able to pick up the 1st down.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Cousins. He completes this one to Mack. No gain on the play, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Now the old pass completion for no gain, not something you want to call up out of the playbook too often.
Yeah, most offensive coordinators don't have that on their play sheet, so they've got to go back and scramble after this one. But right now, with what they're telling receivers about making sure you take care of the ball in open field, sometimes the fighting for extra yardage doesn't come as a result. That and good tackling can lead to no yards gained.
Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And Gay knocks this one through. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
Let's go, boys, bring it on.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. This ball game certainly has gotten a little out of hand. This is normally when they say you got to fill. This is fill time for guys like you and I. But, you know, to be frank, just a dominating performance. Really impressive what we've seen.
It is, and I'm glad that you went in that direction because otherwise we're going to talk about the museum tour we took yesterday.
Which was also impressive.
Which was also very impressive. But this game, how they've done it, offense, defense.
They've got his man complete. A big pickup of 38. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles. It certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Now a run with Cook. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the 1st down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10.
Hey, watch the slant, watch the slant. Watch the slant. Watch the slant. Alert 3, alert 3. Alert 3. Wide.
Here's Newton. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. They fake the give. Newton. He'll buy some time right. Now he'll pull it down. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. No one there to help out downfield, but no problem. Scrambling for 22 and a 1st.
Now, that was a whole lot of open space out in front of him, wasn't it? I'm telling you, Brandon, when things are going right, they are going right.
And everything has been going their way for the most part. I saw that lane start to develop. Boom. He took advantage of it.
It's been a long day for you. He's checking.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get the push they needed.
Now, that was a terrific play. We're down here near the goal line, and only one word comes to mind for me, and that's overwhelmed, because they absolutely overwhelmed the offensive line. He came free and made the hit in the backfield.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
Let's go, Mike 50. Mike 50. Yeah, let's get a sack lunch.
Now Newton on 3rd and goal. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Now the try here for the point after. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that drive goes 8 plays, and it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. Here's Martin now following the score as he'll send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. He juked him. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line.
Let's go.
The Packers offense now. They get ready to head back onto the field. And a methodical drive last time, but they couldn't get that knockout blow. They had to settle for 3.
But you got to like what they've been doing along the way, right? It's almost like the body blows, the setup punch. As you said, they didn't get the knockout blow here, but that doesn't mean it can't come later in the game on another possession.
Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Throwing on 2nd and long. Cousins. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. To throw is Cousins. And the throw there going to be incomplete. As this one moves towards its conclusion, another incomplete pass there. Thoughts on the secondary? I mean, they seem to be pretty effective in this one.
Yeah, I thought that they've been absolutely outstanding. I mean, their job is to prevent touchdowns, and not a single touchdown's going on the board against them. Of course, they want to make it a total shutout, but hey, if you don't give up touchdowns, you got a heck of a chance to win.
Here's J.K. Scott now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. That'll wind up being a 50-yard punt, though they do get 10 back on the return. And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position, 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. And a few kneel downs should come very close to finishing this one off, depending on whether or not we see any defensive timeouts. They still have 2, but using them would just be prolonging what's really already been decided.
That's right, baby. They don't want it. Mike 42, Mike 42. Come on, D. 42.
Throwing here, Newton. Flush to his right. And he slings one that's incomplete. Jared Cook, the tight end, was the target. And now it's 2nd down. Charles, thinking back to what you said in the first quarter, that part of the magic elixir for a road victory for these underdogs was going to be winning the turnover battle. Well, they only have 1 right now. Look at the scoreboard.
Yeah, not exactly playing to the form that I subscribed, right? When you talk about winning that turnover battle, that evens things out, especially for a road team, especially for a team that's an underdog.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
Back to throw, Newton. And he's able to find Diggs. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the 1st down.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time. They work on all the timing patterns, and this time it paid off for them. Worked him to the center of the field, cut it to the outside, ball's delivered, gets both feet down for the completion.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
Gun. Mike 4-2, Mike 4-2.
Newton throwing again. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with them.
Newton's going to throw it. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
Here we go. 180. Check pass. Gun. Here we go. 50. Mike 50. Bring it.
On first down, it's Newton. Escaping the pressure, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. So another score there. Often you talk about the three phases of the game: defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a fourth phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the fourth quarter. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead will swell by one more. That time a 6-play drive. And the final piece to the puzzle was the Cam Newton touchdown run. So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Now the Packers get set to go. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Throwing is Cousins. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. 11 yards and a Green Bay Packer first down. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Shaq Lawson. What a play by him. That's going to go as a loss of 13.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Now that after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Cousins. It's caught by Bryant. A big gain there after going backwards, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for Minnesota, they remain as hot as anyone, 6-0 now through the first month and a half. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Meanwhile, for the Packers, they can't quite seem to turn things around as they fall into 2-4 now on the year. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaud. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.